Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast episode 699. I'm one of host Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
And Tony Korkanakis.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, guys. Can you just switching over? There we go. Okay. Shouldn't have been seamless for you guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 699 of the Moviecast. We are live on Twitch Tuesday nights starting at 8 o'clock, so please join us for these. Corey will be hopping on shortly. He's got to finish up some work stuff. But for now, guys, tonight, just a little preview. Tonight, we do have our spoiler cast for the X-Men season, X-Men 97 season 1. I was going to say X-Men season 1, but X-Men 97 season 1 is more accurate. So stay tuned for that. This is the movie cast, which we will talk about quickly without spoilers. X-Men 97, which I got to say, guys, really, really enjoyed the finale. Like, very good. Spoiler free here. I enjoyed the entire season, just so you all know. I very much enjoyed this season. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. It was an amazing comeback. Never thought they could have pulled this off, to be honest with you. I did not expect it. So, yeah, that's just me.
I think it's pretty explanatory that even my highest expectations for the series going into it, I was like, there's no way, right? Like, at best, it's going to be like, oh, it's like good old times, like a romp through cheesy, cartoon for kids, bite-sized versions of the larger, adaptations of the comic lines and stuff like that. But this was just a rarity, and I think you made a comparison a week or two ago where it was kind of like Cobra Kai, where they kind of like let the show grow up a little bit with the audience, right? Where it's like, we're not seeing brutalities and boys or invincible style like people getting their spinal cords ripped out and everything like that.
It's not gratuitous violence, no.
Right, which is good because I would not have liked that, right? Like, I'm kind of over that whole thing. Like in even like Boys is coming up, and I'm just like,
yeah, same for me.
Like, so I saw a tweet where somebody was like, "Oh, here's how the season's going to be. They almost take down Homelander, but then they don't season it." It's like, yeah, sounds accurate. But yeah, X-Men, fantastic. Finale was really good. I loved a lot of the moments. I felt like a lot of the characters got really great like scenes or sequences and stuff like that. Rogue in particular got a really cool one and stuff. So even Jubilee got some. I think people were always shit on Jubilee, right? Because she's like the teen or the kid or whatever like that. But I mean, her mutant power is pretty powerful. Just again, when you're showing a cartoon version of it, it's like, oh, well, you can't really do what you should be doing because people just be exploding and on a molecular level. But
cool. Mike, you loved it. What did you think of the season?
The season as a whole, I really liked. Obviously, I had some issues with certain way things were paced and stuff, but overall,
you have to look at it this way. They thought at the time they had 10 episodes. They weren't certain. They had season 2 already going.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that's a real excuse for doing that. But that's anyway. I think the first 2 episodes though sort of set like my expectations like really high, and I mostly liked everything that else came through because the first 2 episodes, they almost acted as like a sort of major introduction to what was happening, and we kept going after that. And some things were a little meandering, I think, just to check off some boxes for what they wanted to show from what adaptations they wanted to grab real quick. But overall, this was about as good as I could have expected, and can't wait for the second season, which is pretty close to being done, it sounds like.
Yeah, so their new style is going to be 2 seasons at a time. So 3 and 4 have been greenlit, and they'll be made at almost the same time, so that you watch 3, and then you'll do 4 quick turnaround, like beginning of the year, end of the year kind of thing. So don't expect a very long wait for season 2. Corey, you finish it up?
Hey,
we're not
I'm
doing
here.
Spoilers yet. No spoilers, Corey. Welcome, Corey.
No, I'm assuming you guys are talking about X-Men as a whole.
Opinions.
But as far as the season and the final episode, fantastic. I definitely in the beginning was not as high on it as I think some other people, just because there's so much hype and so much. And I was coming in later with it, and so I was like more hyped about it, or it was a little overhyped maybe. But after episode 5, it just like it just goes. And
it just took off.
Yep. No, definitely awesome to see back, and the the things that they lay out and the direction they're going is very exciting, and the fact that this is a success is exciting because we're gonna get more. And
I think we're gonna get Spider-Man 97
awesome.
next. I think we're getting Spider-Man 97.
98.
98.
98. Okay.
98.
Is that what they're saying?
It's apparently an issue that extra year there for some people because of.
Well, there's some stuff we'll have to talk about on spoiler cast.
Yeah, we will talk about that. So, cool guys. So otherwise, for myself, what I've been watching, Knock at the Door. Is it the M. Night Shyamalan movie, the cabin thing where the knock at the door? Is that what it was called?
I don't know. Is that the Batista movie?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm mentioning it because I watched it, and I don't know what got me to watch it, but I was like, it's an hour and 40 minutes, so I thought, okay, I'm not dedicating a lot of time to this, and so I put it on, and I kind of got into it. I gotta say, and listen, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this movie for you guys. I'm not gonna spoil the ending at all, but I will say that there's no twist, and I liked it. I liked that there was no twist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just.
It was the twist that there was no twist?
Yeah, I mean, that's
what
it was.
That's the twist with the M. Night movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. He needs to do that more so you don't just watch his movies expecting a twist and then it just, you know what I mean? So, but I actually like this movie. The only thing I didn't like about the movie was the casting of Batista. I just felt like his presence was... He's not bad. He's very good in it, but he's like just too... overbearing. Like, he's just too much of a person in this movie. Like, he's supposed to be a math teacher, I think, and it's just like, I can't take you as a math teacher, dude. There's no chance I can buy this. And it's just he plays the role really well, but it's just like he's just too big of a dude. Like, it's out of place.
When was this movie made?
A couple years ago, I want to say
2020, 2021, I think it came out. So
because I don't really even remember this existing.
Knock at the door. Wait, knock at the door? Knock on the door. Wait, what was it?
It's like an apocalypse or something like that.
Knock at the cabin.
Kill somebody or something.
2023 that came out. It came out in 2023.
To save the world. Some like choice they have to make or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually, like I said, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And it was, for, like I said, M. Night Shyamalan movies. Listen, I'm not giving it I'd probably give it a 6.5 or 7. I'm not giving it high praise, but I'm giving it for an M. Night movie. I expected a 4, and I just kind of I turned it on and it kind of hooked me, which is good. And I watched the rest of it, so I liked it. That's why I wanted to mention it. That's really it for me, though. Like, of note, this weekend I'm hoping to see Furiosa, and I gotta watch Planet of the Apes still. I got another lineup of possibly taking my stepdaughter to Garfield, so maybe I'll be talking about that stuff. So we'll see. A lot of movie options for me this weekend. But I've been working on my house, so it's been very busy, and playing video games. But that's it for me. Tony?
So let's see. I needed to look for something new because apparently now for the first 4 seasons of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think the rest is on like Peacock or something like that.
Peacock.
Or that. But because like sometimes I just want to put something on where like if I'm like cooking, cleaning, eating kind of thing, I don't really have to like pay like too much attention. Like I'm not gonna put something on like I'm genuinely like invested or interested in, right? Because I'm like, I want to be able to focus on it. So I just kind of put something on where I'm like, like I don't need to see every fine detail and whatnot. So Netflix put has as the number 1 movie for the past week, I think, Madam Web. And I was like, like, you know what?
You're doing it to yourself? Like,
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, because it's like I'm cooking and I'm cleaning a meal, like I don't, it's kind of like just hearing it. I'll like glance over every now and then, just be like, whatever. Plus, what's her name? Sydney Sweeney's in it, so I mean, it's not like all bad, right? But
yeah, sure,
it's pretty fucking bad. Like, if we still did bets, this would absolutely be a bet movie. It is just horrendous. I don't know. I'm trying to think of where to start. So, like, first of all, this takes place in like 2000s or something like that. So
it's like a young Ben.
Parker, and that's the thing is like Ben Parker is in this, and he's like 30 something, whatever, has a job, isn't old, and it's like there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I'm just like, this is kind of weird. Like, why does it have to be him then? Like, it doesn't feel like they're adding anything to the lore or like doing the character justice. In fact, even the catchphrase, the whole responsibility and power thing, another character says it. So I'm like, what? why did this have to be Ben? Like, I don't get it. Other than to like shoehorn like a weird relationship between him and Madam Web eventually, right? The character that becomes Madam Web. But God, man, the premise is just so silly because, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil a little bit of it, and this is all like the first like 10 minutes or something like that.
Hey, Tone, just your mic might be a little off right now. It's getting distorted.
Yeah,
we need to hear the clarity. Like,
I don't need to hear this clarity, but I don't care. Like,
Madam Web.
I honestly don't mind if you spoil it.
What do you mean distorted though?
It's a little high. Your gain's
it
up.
Sounds like almost like you're not even using the Yeti. That's what it sounds like almost.
But
hold on.
Yeah, check your ends. But yeah, I like Madam Web. Every clip that I saw for that, I was just like, I can't.
We're getting to see it live. We're live, guys. Hey, behind the scenes. There you
go.
We're getting all of it. So I don't know. Try it again.
Go.
Hello. Testing.
There.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
There's the gold. There's the gold.
Why you guys couldn't catch that before I got on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen, I'm
talking for like 10 minutes.
I'm honestly not sensitive to sound quality whatsoever. People always complain about stuff on like YouTube videos. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay.
I'm streaming through my phone yet again, so I didn't know if I had maybe some bad connection or something. So that's why I was just like, okay. But
I mean, just like
Tony, you're
all right. We are spoiling Madam Web because it's on digital. It came out digital like 2 weeks after, and that's what sucks. Is this movie came out digital? Like, it took longer for this movie to come out digital than Fall Guys is coming out on digital. So that's ridiculous. But anyway,
that is ridiculous.
Come on.
Go on.
So the beginning of the movie is like what you find out to be the main character, Madam Web's mom, in the jungle of somewhere.
This is
trying to find like this ancient mythical spider that she believes will have healing properties for something, right? And lo and behold, she finds it, right? But then part of somebody in her expedition crew or whatever like that betrays them and takes the spider for himself, grant himself powers? Somehow. And then these like tribe people in the jungle. Like, and again, the character, the mother is the natives. Then, so like, I don't know, he fucks off, whatever. But then, like, the natives, like, try to rescue the mother. Is clearly very pregnant in like the last month of her pregnancy, and they're like, "Oh, we can't save you, but we can save your daughter." It's like, okay, like,
what the heck is she doing out in the Amazon? Freaking 9 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of the story. But anyway, so like. Spoiler, the baby's fine. She turns out to be the woman that become Madam Web and stuff like that. But because of this, I could have missed something, but I didn't exactly understand why she had powers. And it starts out with like this weird precognitive like thing where like she experiences deja vu and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like they tease it for like over an hour. And I'm just like, really? Like, you just need to like pull the plug and like
just do it, man. Just
make this character like a hero. Like, you don't need to keep showing us like, whoa, that's weird. It happened once. And it's like, oh, it happened again. It happened a second time. And then it happens a third time. I'm like, okay, we get it. Like, I doubt anybody watching this movie has never seen a superhero movie that like this would be some gigantic leap in logic where it's like you need to like reinforce this idea and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then the three women that are the spider women or whatever, like, you find out that they're actually not that age. They're teenagers in high school. And the villain who, betrayed the character's mom has this recurring dream where he gets killed by these three women in their spider suits and stuff like that. So he's like, I have to kill them every day, every night. I've had this dream of them killing me. So I have to kill them before they can kill me. And it's like, so you're gonna kill like three teenage girls? Like, I mean, I guess, right? Like, you're a villain. You've already done some bad shit. But then he becomes like Dark Spider-Man. Like, he has a costume and everything. At least I didn't hear an explanation on why he has a fucking costume.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just like, was that Spider-Man? It's like, oh no, this is like a Dark Spider-Man. He doesn't have webbing or anything like that. He just jumps around and has a mask that looks almost exactly like Spider-Man. I'm just like, holy shit. Like, it's just gone.
Went to Spirit Halloween, I guess.
I think he's supposed to be an alternate universe Spider-Man. Isn't he supposed to be that?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't fucking tell you. Like,
I have no idea.
Movie.
Listen, I've
I felt like they just like were throwing things together. They didn't even have a script. I don't think like it was getting rewritten like during filming.
While they're shooting. Wait, say that again
I've,
like this though. But yeah.
I've obviously never watched this, but I did watch people talk about watching it. I've had it spoiled. I watched the what's it called? The pitch meeting.
Yeah.
YouTube. So people call that guy ADR man because all of his dialogue was recorded afterwards. It looked like, and also they've called him exposition man because it's just story like exposition. When he shows up, everything gets explained very slowly. So. But no one knows his actual name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty bad. It's pretty terrible. Like I empathize for anybody that worked on the movie directly or anything like that, but this is just a piece of shit, and I cannot believe like it went through whatever levels of like executive crap it has to at this point, because it's the 2020s and you're making a Spider-Man universe movie, and like nobody's like this isn't working, right? Like, I'm not saying it had to be canceled like a Batwoman thing or anything like that, but like at some point somebody had to be like, this is not good. Like, we need to work on this a bit more.
I also heard like the three girls like barely are in their outfits because it's just like flashes of them like in the flashbacks.
That is
or whatever,
it. That dream sequence where the villain is like dreams himself dying, but it's the only time you see them in their outfits.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
All right.
Ridiculous.
Enough for that one guy who got arrested though in that theater. Remember that story?
Yeah. So it's bad.
All right.
Well, I'm glad you took the bullet. So we got Madam Web, we got Venom, Maximum Carnage, whatever. So
yeah. All right.
Some terrible Spider-Man universe movies.
Yep. Mike and Jim's turn next.
Real.
Yeah. All right, Corey, did you watch anything?
I saw this still out there. I've been watching this anime. I started watching an anime called Eminence Shadow, something like that. Actually, who was it? Somebody, I think it was your cousin actually recommended it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's like this kid who he gets killed and wakes up and gets reborn in another world, but remembers everything obviously, and then he's like he always wanted to be a hero, so he's like kind of like making up these stories, and everything he makes up becomes reality for him. But he doesn't realize it, and he's thinking he's like this background character in this story that he's like creating for himself. But then everything around him is happening, and he just like becomes like this super overpowered person. And the first season was pretty decent, but then I think it's gone off the rails a little bit. But it was a neat concept, I would say. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
All right, Mike.
I haven't really watched anything other than X-Men.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's get into, I guess, the quick box office look here, which is there's nothing big this week, or what happened last week? Planet of the Apes, If was number one, opened 33.7 million. Planet of the Apes still did pretty well, 25.5 million. Doing pretty well. I think like I said, this week is a huge week. It's got Furiosa, even the Garfield movie is a kids movie. We'll see what that does in the box office with Chris Pratt attached. We shall see. The Fall Guy did 8.4, but you can see that like now. I think you can rent it at home. I believe it got released digitally. I think today or tomorrow, right? It's being released.
It's coming very soon, if not.
Yeah, it's
already.
there tomorrow. It may already be when you're listening to this. It'll be available. Or if you're not watching us live here. So yeah, that's interesting that they chose to take the movie, which wasn't doing poorly, and just bring it out on digital that quickly. Does that make any sense?
Well, we've called this out for a while now, and honestly, it's like these movie companies, I don't know what deals they're making. Like, I don't know what the qualifier is for how soon it has to get to digital and stuff like that. But they're not helping themselves. Like, it just seems like they're rewarding people who don't see it right away, right? Where it's like, oh shit, it's bombing. Just release it digitally, so we can at least make some money back. And it's like you're just training people to like not ever go to the movies again. It's like, why would I fucking pay?
No, I specifically went to see this movie as well because I wanted to support it in the theater because I was like, this is something I want to see. These are the types of movies that I would like to see in the future. And so you go watch it, and then it's like, well, screw you for going and paying a premium because now you can get the better version because it's the 20 extra minutes extended cut.
Yep, 20 extra minutes. Yep.
It's like, what the?
They really That's a horrible decision. Whatever.
It feels bad for the people that want to see it, but at the same time, I'm glad I saw it in the theater and everything. But it just feels bad. Like could have just waited a couple weeks.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some news. X-Men 97, as you mentioned, season 2 is already in post, so expect that. I expect to hear that announcement this summer of when it's going to release. I don't know if it'll make like Christmas time. Maybe it will be Christmas, but I think it'll be early next year, like February. That's my theory. So
cool.
Not a long wait. The studio will hire a new head writer for season 3. We'll have a new head writer for season 3, honoring Bo's ideas from the second season. That was commented about. So obviously Bo DeMeo, right, is previously was let go from his position of producing and writing for it.
He was the showrunner.
So we'll see how season 3 continues this on. It's always a little troublesome when you change writers. You worry about it, I guess. It's with good reason. But hopefully they find somebody that works pretty well with this. That's what I'm hoping. Should be a blueprint, I would assume. And it sounds like that guy's not even against like reaching out for ideas. Like he's like constantly posting on Twitter anyways about the show.
The thing is, like, you have an arc,
yeah.
and hopefully that arc gets completed, and then you have a new arc, and there's plenty of source material to pull from.
Yeah, there is, and that's what they can lean. That's the thing. They have the stories, like they have everything that they can draw from, so you don't have to write something brand new from scratch. And as long as you just bring it positively into this animated world, like creatively, it's gonna work. So
are they gonna expand on that animated universe too?
100%.
Yeah, we'll see. Absolutely. I mean, I just can't see. I mean, they just hit gold with this, so let's see. Let's see how they can continue to expand it. I mean, there's a lot of IPs they had from the Fox era, from Fox animated series. So let's see what they do. Bad news in the Disneyland. Disney has laid off roughly. Disney has laid off roughly 14% of Pixar in the biggest workforce reduction in the company's history. I love how they did 14% of like the low-level workers. Top leadership unaffected, which means like you could let go of like one big guy probably for this entire 14%. That's my theory.
Absolutely.
But yeah, clearly, I mean, we've talked about Pixar on the decline. Like they're not what they used to be in terms of releasing gold. So they were untouchable for a long time.
And like a decade probably, right? Close to a decade.
If not a little more.
Probably longer. Yeah.
But it's different when you're a pioneer, right? Versus because when they were doing Toy Story, like, nobody else is doing it. But then, like I think probably Shrek was probably the big first, competitor. Like, shit, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And like nowadays, like animation is just like such a huge field. Like everybody fucking has it, right?
Yeah.
And I would probably say like Pixar's still better on average in terms of like quality of animation, stuff like that. But that doesn't mean anything for stories, for intellectual property, stuff like that. Where like I feel like Pixar did a bit too much creative stuff, right? Where it's just like, let's make a movie about emotions, and it's like, oh, let's make a movie about afterlife, and like these really heavy, like abstract concepts and stuff like that. Where it's like, dude, I just want to see toys come to life when humans aren't around. And
that's why we're getting another one.
Right, exactly, and stuff like that. Not to mention, Pixar is probably the highest paid studio, and like I said, like last year with like Super Mario, like they made so much money off of that. It was so profitable because it was done in where's that studio from? France or somewhere in Europe, right? Where it's like dirt cheap compared to the cost of the American studios where you're paying like Hollywood prices, or Miami, or where the fuck Pixar offices are, somewhere expensive in
California, probably.
Yeah, California, exactly. It's like, it's hard to profit off of these movies when again, just like AAA game, where it's like, oh, your studio's in California. Yeah, like that's expensive.
Yeah,
and I think they've also grown a lot as far as expanding, which unfortunately is also why this is happening. But you lose some of that. Like in the beginning, a lot of it was this passion projects from a small group of people, and then it just ballooned out, and instead of focusing on one film a year, essentially, they started putting out multiple films. I feel like because they didn't have that like father son or the brothers with the dad movie. Was that them? Like I feel like they're trolls or something, and then they also had like Soul.
the guy whose father passed away, and they were like
Wayward
magic.
whatever.
Yeah, it's like Tom Holland was in.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it came out during the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, that and Soul also. Like I felt like they came out in the same year or something. Like it. So I think they like started to like try to push stuff out a little faster as well.
Yeah.
You lose a bit of the quality control, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely do. So, all right. Let's jump around here. Let's see. Shogun, the show I talked about, raved about, season 1, which I am very happy with being it. It's a great story. There was only one book. However, season 2 and season 3 are in the works. I can't say I blame FX and Hulu. Like, I can't, like, the numbers, you want that. You want to capture that again. I get it. But, like, the content's not there. And this is all I talked about to you guys to sell you on this is it's not Game of Thrones. It sticks its landing, and it's very good. And now I'm like, well, shit, is it going to be Game of Thrones next? Is it moving that way? That's my fear. I mean, maybe it's awesome.
It's valid. I mean, this is based off of true events, right?
Yeah, it was kind of inspired by it. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a fictional story based on true events, but yeah, it's kind of inspired by it. But like, obviously, they just don't need to go get 2 writers that are trying to leave and go work on Star Wars to just finish and rush the show. That's one of the steps I would say to avoid, as you know. But we'll see. I mean, they're getting the actors back, which is cool. But it kind of ruins the ending a little bit with the impact of certain characters. And even then, like, some of those characters, because they're not there anymore, it affects going into next season, because they were very interesting characters. And so like the arc ended after episode 10 or whatever it was this season, and it's like they were a big part of that story. So it's like, you don't have them to lean on anymore because they're gone. So I don't know. It's a lot of work then, especially without any source material. So, all right. We'll see about that one. Let's see. We talked last week about the bundle possibly happening between Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV. Or maybe this was the week before we talked about this one. Comcast will launch Stream Saver, it's called. A streaming bundle for Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus. Only $15 per month, guys.
For Comcast subscribers. As we said, if you're a Comcast customer, you're going to get the deal.
Yep, that's what it's for. $15 more per month on your cable. I will say this, guys. The one thing, let me just, like, this is a great deal for cable people. Look, you can add a $15 package. It's like an HBO subscription. Like, I know that there's a lot of talk about the fact that, like, let's say I pay like $90 a month for my Hulu Live service, right? Like, how much cheaper is that than cable? There's a lot of extra features that we get that I don't have to worry about that you get with cable. Like, I don't pay for equipment. There's a lot of savings still with these other streaming services that you don't understand. You're like, oh, it's just cable again. No, because there's a lot of like
fucking not.
Yeah, there's a lot of savings going on because it's unlimited DVR most of the time for me. It is unlimited DVR. But the other features are like the smart features. Like when I open my Hulu app on any of my devices, because I can watch it from anywhere and not have, any problems. Well, unless I'm watching it from another TV. But it suggests shows to me, or it logs me into my channels. You know what I'm saying? Like it brings up my feed of what I watch the most. Cable doesn't do that. Like you turn on your cable box, that's it. That's all you got. You can set your favorites, but it doesn't like recommend shows to you based on what you've watched. Like there's the algorithm stuff that you get with these other programs it's way better, way superior to cable, no matter the cost. So yeah, it's just something I thought about. Like, it's just like, I know people are up in arms about the prices of these streaming services, and I get it. They are expensive, and there's a lot of them. They're going to obviously, some of them are not going to make it. We've talked about that. But
they're already consolidating this week.
Yeah, they're consolidating, and the value of all of these streaming services together is probably the cost of cable, but you get way more content.
Again, you don't need to fucking subscribe to every single one.
I'm just saying all of them. I'm just saying, Tony, all of them.
I know. Yeah. But like that's the argument. It's like, oh, this is the cost of cable. It's like, I'm sorry, if you are subscribed to all these services, like 5+ services,
How are you watching
routinely,
that? Anyways,
how do you
how
have
you
the time
watching
to
that?
watch
Yeah.
this, right? Or
Mhm.
that would be more of an issue for me than the price, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm watching
Like-
all that content, like it just rotated, like do one month and do
Yeah.
another, because
Like,
these subscribers they don't force you into like a contract, right?
That's the
It's
idea.
not like a
Like,
3,
even, like,
6,
even-
1 year
Not yet.
contract.
Even their live TV services are not contract based. I can switch to. I did it. I was in YouTube and I went to Hulu. You know what I mean? So it's like I went to Fubo the other month because I was like, let me try it out, and I hated it, so I went back. But I'm just saying, like, I tried a bunch of services because I'm not under contract. Like that's
Right. I mean,
the
you
freedom
can
of
do it. Like Disney does it. Like first 4 years, I got for like $200 or something like that. It was $50 a year.
Oh, Max. I'm thinking about
It's kind of
Max right
no-brainer.
now. I'm thinking about Max, but
So
then
you can do it, but
yeah,
you
like,
know,
I don't know. I just like for me right now. I'm only subscribed to Netflix. I do my Hulu subscription, obviously, with Disney, the whole Disney Plus bundle. But I
Yeah.
have Netflix, and I only have Max because I went to cancel it, and they said,
You
"Hey,
messed it up.
well, they said let's give you 3 months at $7 a month," and I said, "Okay,
Mm.
that's fine."
Yeah.
So I did that because they're hoping I miss it, but I set a reminder on my phone to cancel it again. So, it's the old Sirius XM radio thing where you get it for like, that's what I'm doing right now with that
Just
too.
keep
Just a
on
reminder.
getting
I
in
think they have
perpetuity.
they have that data though, because I think the average person doesn't want to continually check every month on and off their subscriptions, and that's why
No, I'm sure there's people.
if they're
There's
interested in something on each
But
thing,
Mike-
they're gonna just have it going constantly.
Mike, there's actually apps that you could just pay like $3 a month and somebody will manage it for you. They'll like flip you
Another
back and forth through the
subscription.
services. It's yeah, but it's cheaper than a streaming. They'll manage your streaming service.
No, I mean, as far
It's
as
crazy.
like
You're right.
the streaming services goes, like they are obviously far superior. And like Tony was saying, like you can pick and choose. Like, that's what I've always wanted. It's like I don't care about a lot of this stuff. You can get
Yeah.
to pick and choose it.
That's it. Like,
But yeah, I'm just it's all it's there right now. That's what's happening.
I'll pop back
Like,
into
at the same
Paramount.
time,
I mean,
there's so
you
many
say
of
that
them.
all the time. I don't really understand that though. There's like 4 or 5 streaming services, and you get a lot of stuff you don't care about on each one, but you still have to pay for it. So what do you mean pick and choose? It's the same idea as a channel, basically.
Well,
No,
you
we're-
don't pay as much for the cable when you say I want Peacock this month. I get Peacock for $10. And I get to watch all the Peacock stuff that I want to watch, and then I cancel that, and then I watch Netflix the next month. So you're picking and you're choosing what platform you are, what streaming service you want.
Like, honestly,
the thing that I was saying before is just like it's like there's so many that just popped up like wildflowers or whatever. It's just like there's so many of them. It was hard, I think, for people to grasp what is where and how to get everything. I think that was a problem for people. And then now we're starting to see things come back together to be a little bit more less options.
And to be fully honest with you guys, and this is a little tip for everybody, the second you subscribe to this month of Peacock, for instance, you can go into your account and cancel your subscription immediately. And guess what?
that's
It
one
lasts
thing.
for
You
the,
can always
it
cancel
lasts
right
for the
away.
month. Just do it right away so you don't forget. Absolutely. The only time you have to worry about that, it's like what I just did, where I got the 3 months at $7, so I have to set a reminder for that because I got looped into that. So I have to worry
right.
about
If you
that.
cancel, you'll cancel at the end of the month.
Yeah. But for the most part, if you're hopping month to month, just subscribe and cancel the same exact moment, and you're good for 30 days. So that's the tip.
Do you think this is just a matter of time before they wise up to this, like they did the account sharing? You think we'll get those contracts like cable did, because
You've already
people
paid
doing
them.
this
What are they going to do? You've paid them. They're going to refund your money then? You paid them for 30
how does
days.
cable do it with the contracts?
Oh, you mean put you under contract? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's never not a chance because it could.
I don't think they
I mean,
do contracts, but they'll do things where it's like, oh, pay, like Tony was saying, pay for 2 years and it'll
Discount,
cost
yeah.
you whatever number.
It's just like fucking
Save
like
60%.
Game Pass and PlayStation. It's like, oh, cool, you can do 1 month for whatever, $15, 3 months for 30. It's like, oh, it's like buy 2 get 1 free and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like if they do it the other way, then like it's all about the perception. Because if you do it that way, where it's like, oh, we're going to charge you more money or lock you into contracts, then it's going to just get a negative reaction out of people. Where it's like, we incentivize you with a discount, right? And it's like, oh, well, I'm saving money. Like, haha, I got one over the company. It's like, sure, bud, you did. Like,
yeah. So
good for you.
all right. Let's move on. I'll put these two together here. So we got two good news things. Well, what am I doing here? Decent news things. So we've got Hawkeye has been renewed for a second season. Clint's brother Barney will play a major role. The season will be inspired by The Raid, with Kate and Clint stuck in one location. The Raid raises the eyebrow because you're like, that was awesome. So let's hope. Mike, I know you didn't see The Raid, but The Raid is like it's like a video game for movies.
See Judge Dredd? No.
Yeah. Judge Dredd was like that too, but it's like you start on level 1 and you move up the building, and it's just like it's like a video game. That's what it is. Encounters, and it's just like a video game. It's stuck in a building. The Raid was an awesome movie. If you haven't watched it, listeners and viewers, check it out. It's great. But this being inspired by it, I see no problems with this. I think that's a fantastic option for these two characters. That would be awesome. It fits beautifully, I think, for these two characters.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, like it's all about right putting the characters in situations which would be challenging for them, right? Where it's like it would be far fetched to see like Hawkeye go up against like Captain Marvel's or Iron Man's enemies or whatever like that. Where it's like you put them in a
Abomination, go fight Abomination.
Right, exactly. It's like okay, all right, sure. And not to say they haven't done that obviously with like the Avengers movie and stuff like that, but where like you put them in a situation where it's like, oh, you're in an apartment building or something like that, and you don't have outside contact with your resources, and the building's filled with thugs and criminals and
right. And you're not a super powered being that could just blow through everything, so you got to use the skills that you have. Yep.
Limited arrows, exactly. Limited ammo. Like you said, it's perfect. It's perfect. So
MacGyver that shit.
Yeah. I feel like he has infinite arrows when
he might have infinite arrows.
Oh, he ran out in Avengers.
Takes him back.
No, I mean the first season was clearly inspired by, I think, Die Hard. So
I think so.
We got another great action franchise inspiration for the second season.
Yeah, it's gonna be good to see him in that role again because again with that real life accident, I mean, people. He technically died, so
for like 20 seconds or something.
Yeah.
It is incredible, like what he's back to doing. Like he was technically dead for 20 seconds or whatever it was. His heart stopped. So that's how badly injured he was, and it's awesome. It's an awesome story. Like I will fully get behind this show because of that. Like absolutely.
And I'm excited to see Kate Bishop back on the screen because
she did.
As we know, we're gonna get more of her and the Young Avengers crew. So I'm excited to see that.
Absolutely. All right. Lastly in the news, we got Squid Game season 2, December. How cool is that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see. Be the big show at the end of the year.
It'll be interesting. Like, can they hit that success that they hit in the first season coming out of nowhere? I doubt it, but at the same time, more Squid Game people are excited for it.
It's the same guy. He wrote the show. He wrote this season. He's. Let's see how good he is. Let's see what he can do. I'm excited for it, but I'm guarded excitement. I'm like hopeful.
Yeah,
but cautiously optimistic. Yeah. It's just gonna be. It's tough to match what they just did. That's really tough. And plus that hit during the pandemic, right? That was it
was very timing wise, it was right there, and a lot of people were feeling like feels of that stuck in nowhere and can't do anything, and like my life is going nowhere, kind of like they can relate to the character. It's like
so it was timing for that, but we'll see. All right. That's going to wrap up this episode of the Moviecast. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Once again, we are live on Twitch Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. If you miss any of these broadcasts, all of it's over on YouTube. So subscribe to that channel and check it out because all the old episodes are over there. You can go back and flip through our old catalog. We've gotten 699 episodes. 700 is next week, guys. We're going to do some memorable stuff. I believe Mike's idea was pretty awesome. So we'll be going over some stuff. Some chatter about that and excitement. But stay tuned for the Gamecast, and then we have a spoiler cast once again tonight, so stay tuned for all of this. We will see you guys soon on the next episode. We're out.